Okay, hello everyone to the second podcast with my friend Anil. For those who don't know Anil, he is the one who is helping me with the transcripts of the sessions, and he has gone through all the transcripts of my sessions, which is a huge number of sessions which I have done over the past few years, and he has an in-depth knowledge about the various topics. So, what we are going to do is in today's episode, we are going to talk about incarnation and the various facets which are covered in incarnation. And before this podcast begins, I would be grateful to all of you if you could just like this video, because it will help to spread the message to other star seeds, light workers, and wanderers at this time. And I want to welcome Anil. How are you doing, Anil, today?
Very well, Sam. Thank you for giving me this opportunity uh, to spread the word and help others in a small way I can. Um, as we discuss, as we're going to talk about uh, reincarnation today, and or discuss reincarnation today, and reincarnation is. Last time we discussed a density and polarity. Polarity means STO and STS. And reincarnation is an integral part of these two concepts. Without reincarnation, nothing would make sense in the world. And I would like to first, before I go into reincarnation, I would look to point out that reincarnation was part of even Christianity. In 5th century AD, the Constantine removed the reincarnation from the Christian scriptures. So I would like to tell people that they can go and check that and do their own research, that it is indeed was part of Christianity, reincarnation. So says that let's just get into, as I mentioned last time, to progress from third density, a mind, body, spirit must polarize during the density cycle, and this is achieved uh, in multiple lifetimes during this cycle, and that's what we call reincarnation. And what actually happens, reincarnation, there is no, first I would like to explain that there is no death, there is only end of an experience. I think the death is for me is a negative word. People get feeling and sad or lot of emotion attached to it when it's the end of an experience, which is not, a right word to be used. Second, there is no judgment like a school system. The analogy we took last time of a school system where you get judged, passed, but in the death, or as you say, the end of experience, there is no judgment, as we have in certain, which has been in the literature in some places where people say you're going to be judged at end of the life, or at the death you are judged. But there is no such thing as a judge. At the closure of experience, there is a self-contemplation or a releasing process, a self-review of the time of the soul to heal and assimilate the experience in its totality of his experience, which has occurred during previous lifetimes. So this must be understood, that there is a self-review which has been quite also revealed by many people and experienced a little bit, like when they do a life review. If you have heard about near death experience or out of body experience, near death experience, people do life review. But we will get into those details sometime later on. Today I'm just telling you what really happens at the closure of the end of the experience. And the soul can choose the time to reincarnate for the benefits of its own learning and evolution. So there is no judgment. Nobody's telling the soul what to do. It decides by itself. It has a free will, and he decides what he has to learn and decides his own lesson, and that becomes your predestiny or pre-incarnative choices to come into the new life. Initially, the reincarnation is automatic until the green ray or other higher energy center is activated during the previous incarnation. And at this point in our cycle, I think more than 54% of the people went to reincarnate, and I think that means rest of them are automatic birth, which means their uh, green ray chakra is not been activated yet. So they are into a 3 lower chakras, which is yellow chakras. They have not activated their green chakra yet, and we will get into chakra system later. But just wanted to put it out there that in the beginning it's an automatic process. If the mind body split fails to polarize during a density cycle, then it has to repeat the third density cycle. And what happens is, if the density cycle is in progress, the mind body spirit can come back to the same place. But in the case of the density cycle is ending, as it is ending right now on planet Earth, then if you fail to polarize, then you have to go to another planetary sphere, third density sphere, to complete your lesson of third density. So this time now, most of the people who will be ending at the closure of their experience, if they haven't passed or progressed to fourth density, will not be able to rebirth on planet Earth. They will be rebirthing in some another planetary sphere of third density. And the same way, the large number of entities on the Earth have originated from many planetary spheres who are repeating the third density cycle. Actually, Earth is a very special case, because on Earth, the many entities who birth Earth, planet Earth, came from a different planets where they were not able to polarize themselves during the third density cycle. So they just come here to learn lesson, and that's why we have quite a lot of mix of different thinking, because the different planetary sphere has a slightly different mindset, so to speak. In the fourth density, service to self and the service to others and service to self segregates into a different planetary sphere, that is 4 density STO planet and 4 density STS planet. So this is like in a school system, after O levels in England, or a 10th in India. I don't know anything in America what is the equivalent of that, where people after or if you go in a high school, you choose one discipline, like either science or commerce or humanities. So same way you separate stream. So same way, after third density, when you go on the fourth density, STS goes onto an STO planet, and STS goes to STS planets. And then you think, and that's really makes sense. And fourth density STO planet is colloquially called on planet Earth as heaven, and fourth density STS planet is called hell. And if you really, it is not like hell and heaven, which has been portrayed in the literature. Actually, heaven is a place where all the STOs, and it's a sharing model or system, wherein hell is like a hierarchical system or domination system, where it's like a gangs. Everybody's trying to outsmart everybody else, and this. So basically, it is that system, and everybody tried to enslave others. So it's like a gang system, different gangs fighting each other, where STOs, everybody is looking after each other and caring for each other. So that's a definition of heaven and hell, and not what is being portrayed in, I think it's more dramatic, which has been portrayed in the literature as such. So I would like to also here say to people that one should realize that we are humans, are already immortal beings, because and most of the people are trying, in their ignorance, are actually trying to being immortal. They're trying to become immortal by technology such as AI or Neuralink right now. But in fact, it is the other way around. where AI system which wants to become immortal by trapping or acquiring our souls. So you have to really think that we are already immortal, we just don't know about it, or we don't really conscious about it or think like things, because we don't remember our previous life, which is a wailing, which we will discuss, I think, in the next. If we have it, I think we won't have enough time in this podcast, but in the next podcast we will discuss wailing, why the wailing is. So the wailing, so we don't remember, and that's why people don't conscious that we are already immortal beings. So this what we need to realize that, and what happened is this STS forces invert this in their sales pitch. They are selling, oh, you will become immortal, but it's just inverting that we are already immortal. Why I need to become immortal? I'm already an immortal being. So that's what you need to understand, and I will give you an example of this inversion if you haven't already thought about it, which is always there. So as I told you, STS people or STO people generally do not infringe on others people free will. They say, okay, I and they will not basically enforce their free will on others. So for example, during the recent past, uh, people said, okay, if you want to do something, take a particular intervention, we are okay as long as you don't force us to take that intervention. But and they are happy that if you want to do that intervention, they were happy, you can do it, but don't force me. And that is kind of a SPO view. So yeah, if you want to do it, it's your free will and leave me alone. But now if you look at STS side, what they said, no, they didn't, and say, no, we're not going to leave you, you have to have that intervention as well. And how they did that, they're not going to leave you, they come and they want to enforce their free will onto STOs, and then they invert things, saying you have to do it for the so benefit of your loved ones because you're saving, or for me because you're harming me. So they're twisting now completely the STO beings. We're saying I'm not infringing yours free will, but they are now inverting and saying that you have to do it for them, so they're not leaving them alone. So you need to be aware of that. So and see things in perspective. So you have to follow your path, and not to worry about STS and get into conflicts. I think, Sam, do you want to add this something to it?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. From my understanding of incarnation, basically means, like you said, cessation of a certain experience and maybe the beginning of the next one, or sometimes during incarnation cessation point there is healing which happens. And from my sessions, I have learned that there are many astral levels wherein the soul can spend some time after a particular incarnation ends. And obviously there is life review, which in a way makes a lot of sense, because since we ourselves, we have the essence of the one infinite creator, and we ourselves, will review our life. So what happens, from one of my sessions, what I've learned is that we will just look through, the kind of actions we did in the previous incarnation. If he helped someone, that will be a positive experience. If he did not help someone, then that may leads to some karmic imbalance, and the soul may feel bad, that it did something not so positive in the incarnation, and maybe the next incarnation, they will plan accordingly, create new soul contracts with other souls so that they can balance the karmic imbalance which was created. So from my sessions, that's what I understand. And also one of the things which I think is also very important is that like Anil said, those people who have not activated the green ray energy center, they cannot have a choice of the type of incarnation they want. So I think many people, because they are not yet self-aware, because many people, they go through this life unconsciously, and they have, even unconscious thoughts, unconscious, voice in the head, unconscious patterns. They cannot truly become conscious, and sometimes even unconscious emotions are generated in the incarnation while they are in this life. And that is actually a sign, like they are trapped in the lower emotions. Because in one of the sessions, I remember they stated that if we become self-aware of the type of reactions we are giving to the outside world, we will be able to release our attachments to lower vibratory emotions, which are usually stored in our lower energy centers, the red ray, the yellow ray, and the orange ray energy centers. And then, after becoming self-aware enough, we then choose love, because without self-awareness, the patterns of an entity is totally unconscious, and it is much like unconsciously driven. So that entity cannot actually become, choosing what kind of thoughts, emotions, and feelings they may want to choose. And I believe this actually can be a sign for people who are listening. So if you are becoming more conscious while listening to our session, or if you are conscious in a daily life about your inner feelings, your sensations, what you're thinking, you're on the pathway towards becoming truly self-aware, which is also the objective of third density incarnation. And that way you will have the opportunity of choosing the love vibration, which will activate your green ray energy center. And so I think self-awareness, which is also the lesson which souls need to learn in the third density, is indeed related with the heart energy center. And from what I understand, there are souls, like Anil said, from various planets. They are usually known as star seeds. They incarnate from different planetary spheres. They come here with several missions. Some people, I have done sessions. For some people, they have missions like helping their child, or helping someone who was sick, and to be with that person during that time. Those were the missions. It was very, I mean, like spiritually aligned missions. Like some of the uh, people who incarnate, they are wanderers, and they have advanced missions like awakening humanity, helping others in a great spiritual way. And there are also other souls who, they don't necessarily have to be well known, but just by their existence they are able to allow their life cycle or incarnation to be a balancing force in this earth planet. And I have had many sessions with people whose mission was simply to just be, or simply to just exist. Just by existing, they were helping. And yeah, Anil, so that's what I wanted to add. Do you have anything else to share with
We can
this
just
regard?
really say, the whaling process, or why the whaling was necessary. Because if we remember, for example, everything in the previous life, then this would be, it will be easy, you know so that entity so that would amount to cheating. So they don't want the cheating to happen. The one infinite creator, the nature, did not want the cheating to happen. That's why they have uh, veiling process, where there is a kind of semi-permeable veil between the conscious and the subconscious mind. And as you said, once we become self-aware, or we become watchful enough, we can pierce. If one person works on the inside, on the inner self, with the faculty of will and desire, they're able to penetrate this veil and becomes aware of themselves. It takes time, and people have, that's what people call enlightenment, when they're able to see through things and able to see the unseen, and access our own cellular memory. Because all of us has all the previous experiences, uh, basically in our cellular memory, and we just need to access it. And it takes a little bit of work, and it will happen. But we should not really worry too much about that. I think the most basic thing is that on this third density, uh, our first aim is a mandatory subject, if I would say that, and this is to pass to this, is to polarize ourselves consciously, and so that we polarize according to our chosen path. If somebody wanted to choose STO, they polarize and get a grade of 51% so that they can move to STO planet. And this is coming, and by 2030, uh, uh, if we not polarize now, and anybody who is alive on this planet at this moment, when they pass out now, if they haven't got the grade of 51% or 95% for an STS entity, they will not come back to planet Earth. They will be reincarnate on some other third density planet to continue their learning. So I would, just wanted to highlight that. So they will go in some other planet. So I think most of the people who are on this planet time right now, and there's ample opportunities right now to polarize very quickly. And this has been already mentioned in many of the sessions. Even if you right now, there are a lot of incentive programs or directives now that people help each other in polarizing another entity, or to get a higher grade in their chosen field. They will also get quite a lot reward spiritually in their learnings. So I would say that we have to, and that's why we don't have to look one of the to make a judgment or look outside. And that's why keep in every session what we they say is to discern. Is to discern means, I think, what really a difference between discernment and judgment is that discernment means looking at inside for a reason for something to happen, why something is happening, rather than blaming others and looking for reason outside. So this is a quiet, and looking outside is more like a judgment. Looking inside is discernment. So I think people need to know a very subtle differences between our vocabulary to really seeing things clearly. So I think with that, we can. Sam, anything to add?
Yeah, yeah, I mean, yeah, so we learned a lot, about incarnation. Just one small thing is that, I had done one session, which I don't really remember. But what happened was that there was one entity who was service to self, and that person, had created so much negative karma that it had to incarnate in a second density form. So I know there is one session, but I don't know who that was. Either it was Hitler or something like that, or Genghis Khan or Hitler. Out of the two, I know that
No,
one of them spent.
his
Yeah,
can is in the fourth dance right now, but I think we will get into the details. I think we have a plan that we're gonna write a very small book in a book form, where all the simple concept you can go through it, and hopefully we will give references and have things. Right now maybe we haven't remember, but yes, there are rare cases to happens where you can even downgrade a density. There is one rare case which Sam is talking about, but generally you don't regress back. Of course, you need much more healing time. Uh, things is in only very rare case that happens of regression, but you get stuck in one particular place, and you need a lot of healing, in my understanding.
yeah. So that, yeah, I just wanted to add that, and yeah, Anil. So I think we should wrap this episode, right?
Yes, I think yes, we can wrap, and next week we gonna talk about uh, uh, Sam, you have already pointed out few things, wanderers and star seeds, and I think people would not know the differences between star seed and wanderers, so
Yeah.
we will talk about that. That's already in, and we will also talk about a harvest. I think there is a little bit confusion, so next time we will talk about that. So that being said, I think thanks for listening to us, and Sam, thanks for giving me this opportunity to explain. I will also add, we are starting these sessions, and I think there is some teething problems in the beginning as we start doing, and hopefully we will become better and better as we move along in our delivery, in our approaches. So we are still learning uh, a lot, and from your feedbacks. So hopefully it will be a better experience for everybody.
Yeah, awesome. Yes, and like you said, thank you so much, everyone, for listening to this, and stay tuned to the next session. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, because your subscribe will help share the message and help the spiritual community grow. So, with that being said, I'll see you in next week. Thank you so much.